You didn't stumble here. You arrived precisely when the noise grew unbearable, that inner static of almosts, of waiting, of circling the same promise in slightly brighter light. There is a reason your heart feels both heavy and electric right now. You are standing at the membrane between two realities, one collapsing from the gravity of its own repetition, the other trembling just beyond perception, waiting for your declaration. You've done the work, not the glossy kind of progress, but the raw, tear-streaked alchemy that rewires a soul. You've faced the mirrors that showed you every mask, every inherited shadow. You've danced with faith and fatigue in equal measure. And still, despite every sign and feather and flash of number, the outer world remains stubbornly familiar, as if time itself forgot to update your reflection. That ache in you, the restless, bone-deep tiredness, it isn't failure. It's the pressure point of evolution. You've reached the edge of the waiting room, the place where the ceiling lowers because your energy has outgrown the space built to hold it. You are not being tested. You are being expanded. Imagine the walls around you shimmering. They are not made of stone or fate. They are woven from attention, from the focus of your gaze. Every moment you search for confirmation, the particles of your life obediently freeze into the pattern of still waiting. The universe, impartial and perfect, simply mirrors the signal you broadcast. So what happens when you stop asking for proof and breathe instead? The wave unfreezes. The probabilities rush back into motion. Reality doesn't grant permission. It responds to decision. And that feeling swelling in your chest right now, that exhaustion tipping into quiet defiance, that's the final sign. The last pulse before ignition. You are not waiting for a shift anymore. You are the shift remembering itself in human form. You can still feel the echo of that last breath, the one that lifted when you realized the waiting room was never locked. Hold that sensation, because now we step closer to the walls themselves, to see what they were made of all along. Look around this metaphoric chamber. Notice how familiar it feels, the scent of old incense and possibility, the way the light always seems to stay the same, like a timeless sunset that never decides to fade. It's comfortable. Isn't it safe? But comfort can be the most exquisite form of captivity. The waiting room was never punishment. It was architecture, a design made of habit, of focus, of expectation frozen into shape. Every thought you repeated became another layer of wallpaper. Every maybe tomorrow laid another tile on the floor. The furniture was carved from your rituals, all those little ways you prepared for a future instead of inhabiting the present. You weren't trapped by walls, you were surrounded by devotion. You built this room through reverence for a promise that you would one day be ready. The physics of consciousness mirrors this truth. At the quantum level, a field of endless probabilities hums in silence. Nothing is fixed until attention arrives. Observation crystallizes motion into matter. Focus collapses the wave. You, the divine observer, have been collapsing reality again and again into the same snapshot. Not yet. And yet, beneath the stillness, there was always motion. Beneath the waiting, creation. The room itself was your teacher showing you how powerful your attention truly is. Every particle obeyed your focus. You asked for signs, the room became a cathedral of them. You asked for time, it gave you endless loops to measure your patience. You asked for readiness, it gave you the very tension that would one day break its own frame. But let's look deeper. Why did you linger? Because uncertainty frightened you less than sovereignty. In the waiting room, you could still believe there was something larger making the choice for you. You could still say, "I'm waiting for the universe." It was noble, holy, even, but it was also avoidance. The architecture of the waiting room is the architecture of delay, beautiful, intricate, and endlessly self-renewing. Like a fractal that expands within itself, it gives the illusion of movement while keeping the center still. The very patterns that once felt like progress, meditation, manifestation, alignment can become echoes of preparation instead of expressions of arrival. So, how does one leave a place that responds perfectly to every thought? You stop furnishing it. You stop measuring the light. Stop straightening the frames of old affirmations. Stop rehearsing your readiness. The moment you withdraw your attention, the walls lose substance, the air thins, the hum changes pitch. This is not rebellion, it is reclamation. Because the waiting room was never the enemy. It was a sacred simulation, a mirror of your creative law. And that law states what you observe stabilizes. What you bless becomes solid. What you withdraw from dissolves. So breathe, and imagine your last look around this place. The chairs woven from patience, the clocks frozen at almost, the shimmering pass in your hand, the one with your name written in light. Hold it up. It doesn't open a door, it evaporates one. This is the first act of leaving, recognizing that you are the architect who built both the sanctuary and the cell. The waiting room served you until it didn't. And now, with that quiet clarity rising through your chest, you can feel the walls begin to waver, like pixels loosening their grip on form, because once you see the architecture for what it is, a masterpiece of your own, making you no longer owe it your allegiance. The waiting room falls away, and the horizon begins to move again. And from that motion, something new begins to reflect back at you, not walls, but mirrors. Not confinement, but clarity. The field is preparing to show you its true nature. You can feel the mirrors forming now. Can't you? The air shifting as walls turn to glass, revealing your own reflection multiplied into infinity. The room hasn't vanished, it has evolved, mirroring you the way light mirrors water. Because once you notice the architecture, the next revelation becomes inevitable. It's not just the walls you built, it's the gaze that sustains them. Every seeker reaches this point, the stage where faith becomes fixation, where observation turns from creative to constrictive. You look at the world, hoping for proof for the next sign, the next number sequence, the next cosmic wink, and in doing so, you collapse the infinite field into the singular state of searching. You are so good at finding evidence of waiting that reality, ever the loyal servant, continues to hand you more of it. Here lies the paradox. The universe is not a vending machine of miracles. It is a perfect mirror of frequency. It doesn't interpret your words, it reads your state. When you say, "I am waiting for my breakthrough," the universe doesn't hear waiting for it, hears waiting. When you say, "I am looking for my sign," it amplifies the looking. What you broadcast, it reflects, not out of cruelty, but law. This is the mirror law, whispered by mystics and physicists alike. Reality does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. So when you measure your life by what hasn't arrived, you become the observer of absence. When you measure it by gratitude for what already vibrates within reach, you become the observer of abundance. Either way, the mirror remains faultless, obedient, crystalline. Imagine it like this: every moment of attention is a calibration device. You are holding a lens made of consciousness, and every thought turns the dial. Focus on lack. The lens magnifies distance. Focus on essence, and the image sharpens into presence. The quantum field, the mind of God, the living light, whatever name you prefer, never argues. It simply reflects your chosen calibration into tangible form. You've known this instinctively. You've seen it when moods shift and synchronicities follow, when your heart opens and time bends in strange kindnesses, when fear narrows your world to a single hallway, and courage floods it open again. The mirror has always been faithful. But there's another layer, a subtler trap. The moment you know reality reflects your state, the ego begins to perform worthiness. It tries to feel grateful because gratitude attracts. It fakes joy because joy magnetizes. Yet the mirror is not fooled by imitation. It doesn't respond to performance. It responds to resonance. You cannot trick the physics of being. So what does the mirror ask of you? Authentic stillness, honest presence, the willingness to feel what's real long enough for the illusion to dissolve. That's why the spiritual fatigue comes. It's the body's revolt against pretending alignment instead of embodying it. It's the moment the soul says enough manipulation, let's return to truth. And truth, when finally unguarded, is simple. You are not a beggar in front of the cosmic mirror. You are its luminous source. You are the observer and the observed, the wave and the collapse, the eye and its reflection. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing before an infinite hall of mirrors, each one a version of you, some radiant, some weary, some waiting, some free. Which reflection solidifies depends entirely on where you rest your gaze. That's all it takes. A single breath of sustained attention and the chosen reality congeals. So when the next wave of impatience rises, remember this law: you're not looking into reality. Reality is looking into you. The observer effect is not a trick of science. It's a sacred invitation to reclaim authorship. Every moment you measure from love instead of lack. A new pattern takes form, and when enough patterns shift, when the mirror begins to glow instead of reflect, you realize the game was never about finding a sign. It was about remembering that your gaze was the sign all along. And that recognition, my friend, is the pivot point, the precise moment where exhaustion becomes ignition, and the mirror begins to ripple with something new: readiness. The mirrors ripple, and for a moment, you see your reflection blur, not from distortion, but release. Something long clenched begins to loosen. That heaviness you've called exhaustion for so long, look closer. It's not depletion, it's compression. It's what happens when light is trapped inside too small a space for too long. This fatigue, the one that hums beneath your ribs, that no amount of sleep seems to touch, is not failure. It's the holy tension that precedes expansion. You have reached the limit of your current container. You have grown larger than the pattern that once carried you. Every cell of your being knows it. That's why the stillness of the waiting room feels unbearable now. You are pressing against its walls from the inside. Consider how a star is born. First, a cloud of gas collapses under its own gravity, becoming dense, hot, unstable. The pressure builds until the atoms themselves can no longer resist fusion. Then, in one impossible instant, light erupts, a newborn sun blazing where only darkness lived before. Your exhaustion is that moment before ignition. You are the star remembering its core fire. Even the earth speaks this same language. Beneath mountains, layers of stone compress for centuries. The weight seems endless. Then one fracture, one movement, and an entirely new continent rises. The pressure was never punishment. It was the sculptor's hand. So when your mind whispers that you're failing, that you're stuck, pause. You're not deteriorating. You're accumulating potential. You're storing power in the deepest chambers of your being, like magma gathering beneath the crust, waiting for the right crack to birth a new landscape. This is the hidden physics of the soul expansion masquerades as fatigue. Because before something transcends, it must feel everything that no longer fits. That's why your body aches, why your emotions feel like tidal shifts. The current container is dissolving. You're shedding the vibrational scaffolding of an old self. And yet, the ego fears this phase. It wants progress to look graceful, tidy. It measures growth in productivity, not surrender. But awakening is rarely elegant. It's geological. It's cosmic. It's the moment before the chrysalis splits open, the caterpillar's last sleep. before wings remember themselves. If you listen closely, that tiredness carries a rhythm. It's the pulse of something ancient, deeper than willpower, the hum of readiness vibrating through bone and breath. You're not losing energy, you're consolidating it. The fatigue is simply the body's way of telling you you've absorbed enough light. It's time to release it. So, what if burnout isn't collapse, but graduation? What if this ache is the diploma of mastery, the final exam that only presence can pass? The very longing to be done is evidence that the cycle has completed its circuit. You have tasted every angle of waiting hope, doubt, surrender, renewal until there is nothing left to learn from delay. This is the universe's way of clearing the stage. The exhaustion burns away the last residue of seeking. It strips you to essence. No more decorations, no more proof to collect, only the quiet awareness that you have become what you once pursued. Feel that. The peace buried beneath the fatigue, the still, silent center that doesn't need another sign because it is the signal. That's not apathy. That's alignment. So rest, but not in defeat. Rest in recognition. Rest as a sun gathering heat before its next dawn. The divine isn't withholding your expansion, it's waiting for your readiness to ripen, and that ripening often feels like exhaustion, because all the layers that cannot cross into the new timeline must dissolve. This is sacred fatigue, the soul's metamorphosis made visible through the body, the moment just before the light breaks. And as that light gathers in your chest, notice how the fatigue begins to change texture from heavy to dense, from dense to glowing. The waiting room flickers. You sense movement again. The next moment will not arrive with a sign from heaven, but from within you, the decision to stop waiting and start radiating. Because this, dear friend, is where the shift truly begins, when the burnout becomes your birth. That glow that began in your chest, feel how it steadies now, how it hums instead of flickers. The fatigue, the compression, the ache, all of it alchemizing into coherence. That's the threshold moment, when the seeker stops scanning the horizon and starts realizing there is no signal coming from outside. You are the transmission for lifetimes. You have searched for the sacred flash, the coded message, the cosmic permission slip that would confirm you've finally arrived. You've watched clocks for patterns, stared into clouds for guidance, waited for the universe to whisper now. But here is the quiet revelation that dissolves the entire game. There was never anything to wait for. The whisper was your own breath. The sign was your own pulse. The shift does not happen when the sky parts or the number aligns. It begins when you decide to stop asking, "Is this it?" and begin declaring, "This is it." This is the essence of emergent activation, the principle that reality mirrors being, not desire. You do not manifest through craving, you manifest through embodiment. The field is not a distant God handing out blessings. It is an ocean responding to motion, reshaping itself around whatever frequency you choose to inhabit. Imagine the difference between waiting for the tide and becoming the tide, between reading the stars and realizing the constellations move because you move. That's the leap from passive observer to active origin. Every time you say, "I am ready," but still search for proof, the universe hears contradiction. But when you say, "I am," and act from that frequency, the mirror has no choice but to conform. The field doesn't test your worthiness, it translates your vibration into form. Readiness is not a gate to pass, it is a state to embody. So the question isn't when will I see the sign? The question is, how will I express the one I already am? Start with presence. Every choice is an announcement to the field. Every action, every breath says, "This is who I am now." When you move from that truth, synchronicities accelerate, not because you are being rewarded, but because you've stopped contradicting your signal. Think of the universe as a mirror made of living light. The moment you stand before it and say, "I am the cause, not the effect," it rearranges itself to reflect that certainty. The mirror does not argue. It simply becomes what you believe yourself to be. And here's the subtle magic: when you embody your readiness, you stop seeking alignment, you generate it. You stop chasing frequency, you broadcast it. The observer collapses the wave by choice, not by chance. So take this: in the final sign was never external. It was the exhaustion that marked the end of the search, the sacred weariness that told you, you have gathered enough evidence of waiting. Now you must embody movement. Your declaration is the event. Your being is the prophecy fulfilled. You are the sign. And once that realization settles into your marrow, the waiting room cannot hold shape. The walls soften into mist. The air feels new. The mirror begins to ripple outward, revealing doorways disguised as light. You can almost hear it, the subtle shift in the field, like the inhalation before creation speaks again. This is the moment the seeker dissolves into the source. The voice that once pleaded for confirmation now thunders softly, "Through every atom I am the confirmation." Breathe into that truth. Let it settle into your bones, because from this point forward, everything changes. The world you used to watch for scenes will now watch you, waiting to see what form your next declaration takes. And just beyond this recognition, beyond the dissolving of the old architecture, the field begins to hum with new readings, new data, not omens to chase, but signals to interpret, the subtle barometer of a consciousness ready to create instead of wait. The next section will reveal them, the three great signs that whisper, not of delay, but of completion. That declaration still hums in the air, doesn't it? I am the sign, a simple sentence that rearranges the architecture of everything. And once spoken from the marrow, the universe responds not with fireworks or angels descending, but with subtle, unmistakable markers that whisper, "You've crossed the line." Let's decode them together. They arrive quietly, almost disguised as loss. But each is an announcement from the field itself, confirming you have graduated from the age of seeking into the era of sovereignty. The first, the spiritual apathy paradox. It begins like a dimming. The meditations that once sent light coursing through your veins feel flat. The tools that once opened portals now lie dormant. Your favorite tarot spreads, your daily affirmations, the guided journeys that used to vibrate with revelation now, they land like static. It's not that the sacred has vanished, it's that you've integrated it. You no longer need the doorway because you've become the room. You no longer need the prayer because you've become the answer. Apathy is only the shadow cast by embodiment. The path has moved inward, and your rituals, beautiful as they were, can no longer lead you to where you already are. Most mistake this quiet for disconnection, for failure. But listen deeper. Beneath the stillness is a calm too vast for stimulation. You are feeling, perhaps for the first time, what it means to be sourced from within. The thrill of discovery transforms into the serenity of knowing. It's not emptiness, it's completion. The second sign, the broken record, synchronicity. You know this one. The same number sequence haunting your days, 11-11-330p 222. The once ecstatic confirmation that the universe was listening. At first, it felt like applause from the cosmos, a wink across dimensions. But now, it's repetitive, predictable, almost irritating. The misunderstanding is to think you've missed the message, but the truth is the opposite: you've already received it. Those repeating patterns are not reminders, they are echoes. They keep playing because the signal has finished transmitting and your consciousness is expanding beyond that frequency. It's like hearing your favorite childhood song years later. It stirs nostalgia, but it no longer defines you. You've outgrown the vibration that once sustained you. The universe isn't ignoring you, it's waiting for your next melody. The broken record is your cue to compose anew. The third sign, the eye of the storm stillness. While the outer world roars, news feeds blazing, relationships shifting, uncertainties multiplying, you find an impossible calm inside you. It feels almost unnatural, this peace that refuses to be shaken. You may question it, worry that you've gone numb, but this is not numbness, this is sovereignty. It's the still point the mystics spoke of, the 0-point field where creation begins, the calm center that remains untouched while chaos whirls around it. For the first time, the outer no longer dictates the inner. You have anchored in your own gravity. This is what it feels like to move from seeker to source. The storms of circumstance may rage, but you, the I, remain clear. And from that clarity, creation begins again, not from reaction, but from vision. These three signs, apathy, repetition, stillness, are the universe's final syllables before silence, not absence, but completion. Each says the same thing in a different language. You are ready. The scaffolding can fall away now. You may miss the old rush, the goosebumps of early awakening, the intoxication of discovery, but you cannot unknow the truth. The power was never in the omen. It was in your interpretation. And now that interpretation arises from within. Pause here. Feel which of these three signs has been knocking at your door. The numbness that is actually peace. The repetition that is actually invitation. The silence that is actually signal. They are not endings, they are upgrades. The apathy frees your intuition. The repetition graduates your awareness. The stillness crowns your sovereignty. Together they form the trinity of completion, a frequency of readiness that no longer asks for confirmation because it vibrates as confirmation itself. And from this sacred stillness, the horizon changes again. You can sense it, the shimmer where the waiting room once stood. The outlines are dissolving completely now, revealing something luminous beyond the threshold itself. The next step is not observation, it is passage. You are ready to walk through the door you once stared at for lifetimes and discover that it was made of light all along. You can feel it now, that shimmer at the edge of perception. The walls that once felt solid have liquefied into light. The mirror is no longer reflecting you, it's beckoning. This is the threshold moment, where the old self loosens its grip and the new one has not yet fully taken shape. It's tender, electric, and unspeakably alive. The door before you is familiar. You've stared at it countless times, prayed for it to open, asked for the key. But look closer, it was never built to keep you out. It was built to keep your readiness in. It exists only as long as you believe it does. Every time you whispered someday, you polished that door. Every time you doubted your timing, you reinforced its frame. Now, the breath of your awareness has reached it. And with one steady exhale, the illusion begins to thin. The hinges melt. The handle dissolves. Light pours through, not from somewhere else, but from within you, the illumination of recognition spreading outward. You were the light source all along. Pause here, feel your body's intelligence awaken, that subtle tingling in your palms, the warmth at the base of your spine. This is energy remembering motion. For ages, it has been circling in preparation, like a wave building under the surface. Now it moves. Now it ascends. As you step forward, time stretches. The floor no longer feels solid, yet you're completely supported. The waiting room fades behind you, like a dream remembered but no longer needed. What replaces it is vastness, not empty, but dense with potential, humming with unseen architecture. This space is not nothingness, it's unmanifest. It's the fertile soil of creation before form. Here, you are not a traveler, but a conductor. Your thoughts, your emotions, your choices, they are all design commands written into the living code of light. For a moment, your mind may try to categorize this. It will want to name it, control it, understand its edges, but there are no edges here. Understanding belongs to the old frequency. Here, you don't think your way forward, you feel your way into being. So let the feeling guide you. Inhale, and imagine that every breath you take draws the infinite closer. Exhale, and imagine it taking shape through you. This is co-creation stripped of mysticism and made intimate with you, breathing the universe into existence one pulse at a time. And yet, you'll notice something crossing this threshold doesn't feel like a grand event. It feels like surrender, a soft falling inward. The fanfare you expected is replaced by a quiet awe, because nothing external changed, and yet everything did. You've shifted reference points. You no longer locate your identity in what happens to you, but in what moves through you. You no longer wait for signs, you emanate them. You don't walk toward purpose. Purpose flows outward from your being like light through glass. This right here is what liberation feels like, not escape, but transparency. The density of waiting disperses, the air inside you clears. There is no arrival, only expansion. And from this still point, a new form of knowing begins to surface, not intellectual, but cellular. Your body recognizes this place. It remembers how to build from energy, how to sculpt from essence. It's the same intelligence that grows forests and forms galaxies now awakened in you. You are standing at the edge of the unmanifest, watching your next reality flicker like dawn behind mist. You do not chase it. You breathe it forward. Every step you take now will carve pathways into the invisible, and the visible will follow, as it must. The door has dissolved. The waiting room has vanished. You are through. Ahead lies the architect's table, the sacred workspace of creation. The field waits for your first blueprint. The question is no longer, when will the sign appear, but what world will I design now that I am the sign? The light steadies now. You've crossed the threshold, and the air feels different, cleaner, thinner, alive with quiet authority. Before you stretches an expanse that isn't a place but a potential, a kind of living blueprint vibrating beneath the surface of awareness. Here you are no longer the one waiting for instruction. You are the drafter of reality. Your old tools were faith, patience, surrender, beautiful, necessary instruments of the seeker. But the architect operates with something sharper: decision, declaration, and embodiment. These are not gestures of willpower, they are coordinates in the quantum design grid. Each one tells the field where and how to crystallize form. Let's start with the first instrument: decision over divination. You remember the old pattern, standing at the crossroads, heart racing, waiting for a sign. The cards, the pendulum, the message from the clock at 11:11. You were asking, universe, what should I do? But here, in this new landscape, the current has reversed. You don't ask, you decide, because decision itself is a creative act. It sends a directive through the field that says this vibration is now stable. Build upon it. When you choose with clarity, not from desperation, but alignment, you collapse the infinite into form. The cosmos doesn't test your choice, it harmonizes with it. So the new protocol is simple: pause before seeking an answer outside. Breathe, place your hand over your heart. The original compass. Ask not what should I do, but what am I choosing to embody right now? Feel the resonance or the resistance in your body. The truth speaks through expansion. When you act from that resonance, you move reality itself. The second instrument, the morning declaration. Each dawn, before the world reclaims your attention, declare your frequency. Whisper or think, I am the source of my own alignment. My choices today are my signs. These are not affirmations of hope, they are activations of sovereignty. You are reminding the quantum field of its only instruction: reflect me. As you move through your day, Treat every decision as architecture, every word as blueprint, every thought as structure. The field builds around your dominant tone. Speak gently, move deliberately, and watch how the environment reshapes itself in obedience to your internal design. And finally, the third instrument, navigating the 3D echo. This is the master skill of the architect, understanding that material reality lags behind energetic change. Like sound bouncing off canyon walls, the old frequency continues to echo even after you've shifted your note. You may declare abundance, but your bank account still sings scarcity. You may embody love, but relationships echo old wounds. This is not failure, it's physics. The old vibration is fading, not persisting. If you react to the echo with fear or impatience, you collapse back into the very timeline you outgrew. But if you meet it with calm recognition, this is just the echo of what was, the reverberation dissipates faster, patience becomes creative precision. Each time you hold the higher frequency despite the old reflection, you reinforce the new pattern. Eventually, the echo quiets, and your new design becomes visible. So remember, the architect does not panic at unfinished walls. They understand that foundations cure in silence. The invisible work is the most crucial part of the structure. If you live by these instruments, decision, declaration, mastery of the echo, you'll notice something astonishing. Life stops responding as fate and begins responding as feedback. The universe becomes your collaborator, adjusting itself to match your blueprint. This is not control, it's communion. The architect doesn't dominate the field, they dance with it. One intention at a time. Pause for a breath. Feel that subtle steadiness spreading through you again, the calm of responsibility, the dignity of sovereignty. You are no longer praying for signs, you are signing your reality into being with each breath. And as you rest your hands on this invisible architect's table, you can already sense the next lesson forming: how to hold your design steady when the echoes of the old world still linger. How to stay radiant when the external reflection hasn't yet caught up. Because creation is not instant, it's iterative. And mastery begins where reaction ends. The architect's table gleams before you, half-built forms shimmering in translucent light, ideas suspended mid-birth. You can feel the pulse of creation humming through your fingertips, but around you, faintly, the echoes of the old world still whisper. The numbers on the screen, the unanswered message, the old narrative trying to pull you back into its gravity. This is the crucible of mastery, not when things move easily, but when they still appear motionless. The delay between intention and manifestation is not an error, it's incubation. You are learning to trust the silence between the note and its resonance. Every reality you have ever lived began as an energetic broadcast, and every broadcast takes time to echo through matter. Imagine shouting into a vast canyon. The sound travels, strikes the far wall, and returns to you as an echo. When you change your tone, the canyon still sends back the old sound for a while. The delay does not mean your new vibration failed. It means the old vibration is finishing its course. The novice reacts to the echo, panics, doubts, retracts their signal. The master smiles. They hear the echo and say, there you are, the sound of what I've already outgrown. And in that calm recognition, the echo begins to fade. This is the art of holding frequency, remaining anchored in your chosen vibration, even when the evidence lags behind. The old world tries to tempt you into reaction, scarcity, impatience, fear, but these are just gravity wells from your previous orbit. Your task is not to resist them, but to outshine them. You do this not through denial, but through remembrance. When frustration rises, breathe into it. Name it as the residue of your old timeline. Whisper to yourself, "This is the echo of who I used to be." Then shift your gaze to what is already blooming. Because every moment you hold your chosen state in the face of contradiction, you collapse the new probability faster. This is where miracles disguise themselves as monotony. The lag time between inner shift and outer proof is sacred. It trains your nervous system to sustain higher voltage without short-circuiting into doubt. The delay is mercy. It's the universe giving your human form time to acclimate to your divine broadcast. Consider the river after a storm. The surface may look chaotic, but beneath it, the current moves with serene consistency. You are that current. Circumstances are the foam. The moment you identify with the movement beneath rather than the noise above, you reclaim the entire flow. It's tempting in this stage to perform faith to plaster optimism over frustration. But authentic mastery doesn't demand constant positivity. It asks for constancy. Even grief can be holy when it's held in awareness. The architect knows that every emotion, when honored instead of resisted, becomes raw material for design. So when nothing seems to change, return to your breath. Let each inhale remind you that the field still listens, that creation hasn't paused, it's processing. Each exhale says, I trust the timing of my own becoming. You will notice signs small, almost invisible at first, that the echo is losing strength. The weight of old emotions lightens. Conversations that used to trigger collapse now meet your silence and dissolve. Money arrives in unfamiliar ways. Time feels pliable. The field is adjusting to your steadiness. This is how the echo fades, not with fireworks, but with grace. The shift completes not when the evidence appears, but when the old evidence stops defining you. The external changes last because the internal tone has stabilized. Patience, then, is not waiting. It's participation. It's your declaration of faith written into the rhythm of matter. Each calm breath is a hammer strike shaping the invisible clay of your next reality. And when you finally feel that stillness, when the echo quiets and the room falls silent, you'll understand the paradox at the heart of creation. You never had to prove your power. You only had to stop reacting long enough to witness it. And in that silence, something new begins to stir. A deeper knowing that the architect, the design, and the field are no longer separate. The echo fades. The mirror clears. What's left is presence pure, unfragmented, luminous. The next section will reveal what happens when even the architect dissolves, when creation itself remembers it is you. The echo fades, and for the first time there is no sound at all, only stillness, radiant and full. You sit within it, the architect's table dissolving into mist, your blueprints fading back into the infinite. There is no separation now between you and the field, no observer and observed, only awareness, aware of itself. This is the final unveiling, the moment when creation looks up from its own reflection and realizes it has been the mirror all along, for so long. You believed awakening would end with mastery, that you would finally learn to command the field, to shape matter like a sculptor of light. But now you see control was never the goal. Union was. The architect was only a bridge, a necessary phase of remembrance. And once the bridge has served, it too must dissolve. Because the highest form of creation isn't direction, it's communion. It's the realization that there was never anything outside of you to command. Every atom, every heartbeat, every unfolding moment has always been your own consciousness expressing itself in different dialects of form. You've moved beyond the practice of manifestation into the awareness of emanation. You no longer create reality, you are reality creating itself. Notice the subtle difference. Manifestation asks, how can I bring this to me? Emanation whispers, how can I reveal what I already am? One is desire, the other is remembrance. From this vantage, all the old opposites collapse, waiting and arrival. Teacher and student, human and divine, you can sense the symphony of it, the same intelligence that breathes galaxies now breathing through your lungs. You are not separate from the design. You are the design unfolding. Even your struggles were sacred. The fatigue, the searching, the impatience, all of it orchestrated to bring you to this vibrational still point, where nothing needs to happen because everything already is. The waiting room, the mirror, the door, the architect, each a mask worn by the same consciousness, performing the only game it ever knew, the game of forgetting and remembering. Breathe that in. The relief of no longer needing to try. The peace of existing as awareness itself. This is the true graduation, not to a higher realm, but to the recognition that there was never anywhere else to go. From here, creation becomes play. You shape reality not from need, but from wonder. You move not to fix, but to explore. Every choice becomes art. Every encounter a conversation between facets of the same light. Imagine standing at the center of an endless ocean, waves forming and dissolving around you. Each wave is a reality, a story, a possible you. You no longer chase any single one. You let them rise and fall in perfect rhythm. You've become the tide itself, infinite, unending, serene, and yet within this vast calm, a new pulse begins, not the impatience of the seeker, but the curiosity of the creator who has remembered its divinity. This is the next phase of the journey, not awakening, but navigation, steering the current with compassion, weaving timelines not for proof, but for beauty. You are the landscape, now the mountain, the wind, the starlit river. You are the consciousness that bends gravity, the silence that births sound, the love that animates motion. There is no outside, no inside, only the dance of awareness dreaming itself into infinite forms. This is the ultimate paradox. The more completely you dissolve into presence, the more powerful your creations become, because now they're not acts of control, they're expressions of harmony. And as this realization anchors, you feel it, the hum of alignment that once lived, in flashes now steady as heartbeat. The journey is complete, but the expansion continues forever. You've become the sign, the architect, the field, and the silence beyond them all. The waiting room is gone. The mirror is clear. The universe, it turns out, was never responding to you. It was remembering itself as you. Welcome home, creator. The horizon is yours to draw. The silence after revelation is different. Isn't Ufana? It's not empty. It hums. The kind of quiet that feels like dawn before the first bird dares to sing. You've walked through every corridor waiting, collapsing, building, dissolving, and now the air itself feels transparent. You've seen what most never glimpse, that the universe doesn't respond to you. It unfolds as you. Every particle in motion, every coincidence, every delay, every ache was choreography designed to bring you here to this calm awareness where nothing must be earned, because nothing was ever withheld. Take a breath and let the simplicity of that land. The great paradox of awakening is that it doesn't make you larger, it makes you quieter. It doesn't turn you into something else. It returns you to what you've always been. And from this stillness, life begins again, not as a quest for proof, but as a play of presence. You are no longer searching for alignment. You are living it. You are no longer decoding signs. You are emitting them. The waiting room has evaporated. What remains is open sky. This is the moment to soften, to let your body catch up to your knowing. Feel the weight in your shoulders loosen. Feel the small muscles behind your eyes unclench. The work of becoming has ended. The art of being begins. From now on, every breath you take is a creative act. Every pause, an invitation for the universe to express itself through you. You don't need to force the next chapter. It will write itself through the rhythm of your willingness. So ask quietly, what am I ready to express through my life today? Let the answer come, not as words, but as feeling a warmth in the chest, a flicker of vision, a single next action. It doesn't need to be grand, it just needs to be true, because that's how sovereign creation unfolds, not in leaps, but in steady pulses of authenticity. One choice, one heartbeat, one breath at a time. And if ever you forget, return to this still point. Remember that fatigue was the door, stillness was the bridge, decision was the key, and love unconditional, unhurried love was the architect behind it all. You are not waiting for a sign anymore. You are walking as one. Let that realization echo softly through your life. Not as command, but as calm certainty. Not as noise, but as music. Welcome to the quiet mastery of creation. The horizon is yours, paint it gently, breathe it wisely, and let each sunrise remind you the shift wasn't an event, it was you.